What's up? What's up? What's up, my good people? How you all doing today? This is the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show. Actually, hold on. Let me make sure I get all this right. I want to make sure I get this right. All right. Good day, my good people. This is the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we bring you real life real estate solutions. I'm your host, Glenn Glasper, affectionately known as Mr. Dollar Out of a Dime. And today is a very special day. We got a very special guest that's coming on. My sister from another mister, as we say, Miss Casiana Foghis. Want to make sure I always say that correctly, is going to be joining us today. So she's tapping in. So tap in if you got any questions. Definitely get your questions answered. I want to make sure I tell you all that. For you all that tap in, for watching the show on the different platforms that you're on. If you got any questions, definitely go ahead and put your questions. You got to click on the StreamYard link. For those that are watching on StreamYard, click on the link so that we can see your name when your questions or your comments come up so that we can potentially showcase those things. All right, so wherever you're watching this, like, share, subscribe, smoke signals, send it to the folks that need to tap into this information. We're going to have an amazing time today. So stick around, hang tight. We'll be right back with you after this. All right, as I mentioned, we have a special guest on the show today on the line. She's actually going to be joining us. I'm going to bring her in real quick. Miss Casiana. What's up, lady? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. I don't know if she can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Okay, so she went out, so we're going to have to bring her back in. But listen, Casiana is a veteran, as we call it, in this game. She's very seasoned. She's been around the business. She's done all sorts of things as it relates to real estate, construction, residential and commercial. She's done all types of stuff. Casiana is a wealth of knowledge. She's a wealth of information. So I want to make sure you all that will be joining us or that are joining us, either you're joining live. Do me a favor, if you're joining live, go ahead and put a comment in the. All right, I know we got my man, Mr. Ron Dimmock. What's up, dude? Thank you for joining us. We got my brother John Stafford joining us as well. Shout out to the grind guy. So we got a couple folks tapping in with us, and we're gonna bring back in my sister, Miss Casiana. Are you
Hey,
hear me now?
I can hear you now. I don't know what happened. It went out, or maybe my phone rang. I shouldn't have done it.
Okay,
Blow up.
good. Listen, it's always an honor, a privilege, a pleasure to have you on the show. It's a few of y'all that are my favorite people to have on the show. Uh, I like everybody. But it's a few of y'all that are my favorites.
You laying it on heavy this morning, bro. Oh, snap.
But listen, thank you for joining me today. We got my man John with the word of the month for the word of the month of January is discipline. We definitely gonna be talking about some of that today.
Yes,
So
sir.
Casiana, listen, you've been on here a few times. You're no stranger to the show. But for the
Right.
one or two people and the people that might catch it in the different platforms, tell the folks who you are, and then we're gonna talk about who you really we're gonna blow it up, package it for who you really are. But tell the folks who you are.
My name is Casiana Foghis of Prodigy Group. I've been in the real estate game 20 plus years. Started really young. As a matter of fact, John is on here. I always have to mention him because he's one of the people that I've done business with since I was young. 16,
Mm.
17, I was already getting the bug of real estate. We all probably have some mutual mentors that, put us into the game by exposing us to it. And been doing this for a very long time. I've lost a lot. I've gained a lot of knowledge in the midst of losing. But my niche is mostly right now, 20 plus years later, is really real estate financing, commercial deals, package deals. I do personal flips. I do wholesale deals. I have a team of investors that are constantly buying. I believe one of the successes over the years as we built relationships, we're not out there like we used to because the phones are ringing because of the relationships we've established. I don't might not have to be out there. John might call me with a property, or anybody can call me with a property, because once you establish a track record, things do come to you, but there is still a process. Just because things come to you doesn't mean does not equal a check at the end of the day. So commercial real estate, commercial construction, um, any facet of real estate, from appraisals license to was a broker before, a real estate broker, had agents, was an agent, home inspection, any facet of real estate, I've taken piece by piece and mastered it, studied it, and continue to use it on a daily basis. And I have some goals in mind where I want to go with my real estate career. And little by little, I'm getting there. But my background, if you were to say, what am I good at? I could say real estate.
Real stuff, real stuff. And you said, I like how you smoothly put it in. You said 20 plus years of doing this, and I've been doing it since I was 16. And you know I like how you humbly put that.
Man, you have
so
to
so
stay humble, sir.
absolutely, absolutely. But listen, but you also said something. You said something, and I think you inspired this for me some time ago. You said you had some losses, but what I always count the losses is lessons, right? I believe you had some great lessons that all of us can tremendously learn from. And it's oftentimes that people look at things that they've lost, or the time that they lost, or the maybe the deals or opportunities they may have missed out on or they lost. But I look at all of those as opportunities to learn, and that is what builds the experience that we have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I'm a basketball player in the athletic world, and I've used my training in sports to convert it over to the business world. When you are passionate about something, and this is your passion, you don't really have losses. You
True
build
story.
on the stumbling blocks, or you might say setbacks. See, every day I wake up, I have the same mindset I used to have on the basketball court or anything I ever did in life. I play like it was my last day playing.
Mm.
When I do a business deal, it's like my last business deal. When I wake up every day, I live like it's my last day. I love like it's my last time to love. When you are passionate about something, things will happen. As a matter of fact, there was probably more setbacks than that were tremendous, or more deals that fell apart than closed. And what ends up happening is you just can't lose a passion. Initial impact of a delay or a loss is hurtful. Like your reaction to the loss, or hey, you're not closing. You worked 3 months on this deal, and you can't close. Title is a big one.
I think we lost your sound, Cassiana. We lost your sound. We can't hear you. Okay, so we lost Cassiana for just a moment, but listen, I want to address some of the things the comments that I'm hearing, comments that I'm seeing as it relates to Cassiana. Uh, Carl, what's up, dude? Shout out to you, man. Thank you for joining us. We definitely got to talk. It is Cassiana. Cassiana is on the show today, and Cassiana is a goat. She is definitely doing her thing. And then we got.
It's
Are you
my
there?
phone probably ringing. I don't know what's going on, but what I was
Okay.
saying is when you're passionate about something, or you're passionate about the real estate game, you're passionate about a life uh situation. I believe I was blessed enough to find my passion in life. I have learned through my losses and even the recent setback that I've had. I've used all these things for fuel, and if we were to just go to the lowest common denominator, what I call the real estate deal is the lowest common denominator in my life, because I'm not uh I pride myself on family, God, my relationship with God. Those are what's important to me. Real estate is the things that build a career and pay the bills and afford me to have a certain lifestyle and take care of my family. So my lowest common denominator would be a real estate deal. And when delays happen in a real estate deal, you can go out there, do the inspection. You can go out there, do the budget for the cost, and you clear all these steps on a financial sheet or whatever is a required in the contract. And one day before closing, somebody pulls out.
Mm,
What do you do?
mm.
What do you do? What is your reaction to it? Initial reaction is, let me not. I can't curse. I know this is a PG-13 show. I was about to say
It's grown
initial
folks on
reaction.
here. It's grown folks on
Man,
here.
John can tell you the only reason I bring him up too, because he's been around where Jesus Lord blessing was not coming out my mouth when certain things were going down. But and needless to say, when you have passion for what you do and you live every day like it's your last, every deal is like it's your last, and you do your best, delays will happen, but they won't disappoint you as much.
Absolutely, absolutely. You got some folks that are joining us that are definitely giving you some shout outs. I want to make sure we acknowledge them. LaShawn Nicole, what's up, LaShawn?
All right
Uh,
now, LaShawn.
she says, I love. Oh wait, hold on. She says, I love this woman, and
Oh,
Carl, I can't remember Carl's last name. My man Carl used to be at the bank. He said you are definitely the goat.
I'm the goat. Oh Lord, that's a new one.
But
Well, I mean, everybody, hello. Thank you for joining us and trying to listen to some of the words that are coming out of my mouth this morning or this afternoon.
but it's well deserved the acknowledgement that you get for what you do and the lives of people that you poured into. Mine in particular. I'm gonna be a little selfish for this moment right here. Listen, it is always an opportunity, again, as I mentioned earlier, to have a conversation with you, because I know if nothing else, for the time is spent, I'm going to grow at least another 12 feet.
Look at God, won't He do it?
And even this interaction today was God sent. We'll talk about that later, but
Yes,
just in the
yes.
moment of time that we were able to connect to get this done today is absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. Um, so what we're talking about today, ladies and gentlemen, is we're talking about goals and sometimes how we get setbacks and things like that. And how things come up in our lives that cause different things to go in a different direction. And as I mentioned earlier, I count a lot of those things as lessons. We know the old saying goes, tell God your plans if you want to make him laugh.
He's
um,
laughing hard.
absolutely. So tell us, what are some of your ideas about setting goals and how to navigate in the midst of, working to accomplish those goals?
My goal setting is I do a goal setting personal, as far as my personal life. Like, you have to take care of your body. I have some personal goals to be healthier this year, but not healthier this year. I started this last year, so it's not. I don't do New Year's resolutions, so the irony of us talking about this in January is pretty dope. But at the same time, I could tell you New Year's resolutions. Sometimes people set these high goals, like, oh, I'm this year I'm doing this and this. And by like February, Like, you don't see the person at the gym anymore, or you don't
You
see them
you
at every networking event anymore because they've had some type of roadblock or it's too hard. I
yeah.
believe goals expose your laziness,
Mm.
okay, and your procrastination. So
Goals
at the end of
expose
the
your
day,
laziness.
oh, absolutely. Because you can set a goal, you have these things in mind, and also when you're setting goals, make sure you're setting those goals for yourself, not for what everybody's expectation is, or not because you're 41 years old and because this person is right here at 41, I need to be like this person. No, everything is individual. Make sure that whatever goals you set personally, financially, business wise, your brand is your brand. Don't compare it to nobody else. Don't
Absolutely.
compare it to nobody else's growth. Don't compare it to everybody's losses. Don't compare it to all these things around you. Your goal is your goal, and individuality in the goal is important as well. Like,
Mm.
you know how big of a procrastinator you are. You know where the lazy parts, you know where
Mm.
discipline, John, word of the month, discipline has to be involved. And don't set yourself up to fail. And I have deadlines. And one of the reasons why this conversation even came about, there are some things that I've had on the books where I just knew I did my part. I just knew all this was going to come to pass, and it didn't. So then I
Mm.
sat down and evaluated my deadlines, and I was like, well, you know, am I measuring my success, or did I accomplish this goal based on what I've done or the next person has done? So goals have to be really individual. If you don't
Yes.
set it with you in mind, and you'll fail, and you're gonna get frustrated. Then the negativity the thoughts are coming, and other people don't tell people your goals either, because
Mm.
either a
Yeah.
person can taunt you with them, or they can use them as, who do you think you are, because they're not trying to do what you're trying to do. The less you talk, the more successful you're going to be in life. The more you talk, the more you bring on negativity and everybody else's opinions and everybody else's fears and doubts. The less you talk about your personal situation or personal goals and everything else, the better you will become at achieving those goals. So start off into being an individual in your goal, and don't compare
Mm.
yourself to nobody else. So I have three sets of things that I think about in life: my relationship with God, my relationship with my business, my relationship with my family. But the most important that I don't even put in this category is my relationship with myself. Because if you don't
Mm.
have a relationship with self, and you can't do things by yourself, and you can't go to eat by yourself, you can't go watch a movie by yourself. If you cannot be with yourself, what makes you think you can be with anybody else or do business with anybody else? Would you do business with yourself?
Mm. Real stuff. Real stuff.
Ask
You
yourself
said
that.
now here in this goal setting thing, people there's a lot of different schools of thoughts to that. Some people say if you set goals, share with somebody to hold you accountable. So to that, sometimes I agree. But you also
Mm-hmm.
said something that says, where you said, keep them to yourself. Now there's an old hood saying that I grew up learning is that real gangsters move in silence, right? And in our day
Facts.
and age, right? In our day and age, especially at the age that we are, at least for me, what's gangster is now taking care of your family, right? There was a
Absolutely.
different way. So I guess it's different. It's different levels of gangster. Like gangster when I
Mm-hmm.
was young was still taking care of my family, but it was a
Right.
family of a different type, right?
Right.
But now I'm older. I'm the head of a family that
Mm-hmm.
for me is gangster to take care of my family. And in setting those goals, it requires me not to always share. But when I write those things down, and this is a major part of this, when I write those goals down for me, when I look at them, that's my accountability, right? When
Absolutely.
I when I write down a goal that's something, and my goals are primarily about what I want to accomplish for my family. And I look at those goals that I write down and I haven't accomplished A, B, C, or D, and it happens. It's
Mhm.
not so much that I'm worried about what the world is going to say about me. It's me looking at me like, yo, listen, your son is not going to be able to do this. Your daughters are not going to be able to do this. And you're not going to be able to do those things that you told your wife are you going to be able to do. So that's
Right.
my accountability.
Mhm. So let me ask you a question, because this is a conversation that I had with my significant other just last night. What if you
Mm,
put a timeline on something and it doesn't happen in that time frame? How okay is it that it didn't happen in the first year? That's going to happen in the 10th year. See, I think when you're setting goals and you're putting these timelines, yes, that's a realistic, you're working towards it. But I also don't want people, when they put those goals up there and you haven't gotten there. If when you wrote that goal down, January, let's say 1st, 2022, and let's say there's a scale 1 to 10, right? You had 10 points. And that goal right there, you had to be done by June. If you've
mm-hmm,
done 3 points on that list, and you're in December instead of June, you're still making progress towards that
mm-hmm,
goal. Because
mm-hmm.
sometimes our goals have moving parts. Other people might be
Absolutely.
involved in making that goal happen because of
Absolutely.
financial. You might want to say, I want to close a deal a week. That's 52 deals in a deal. Well,
Mm-hmm.
in those 52 deals, everybody knows in one real estate deal, there's like 10 factors at all times that
Oh,
go on into a real estate deal.
say
So
that.
I can give you 1,000%. I can do everything you asked me to do. But somebody in that deal, either the middle
Mm-hmm.
person, the bird dog, the home inspector, the appraiser, the finance, the cash guy, the wire guy, it's so much energy involved from other people that it might not get you to that one closing a week. Because that's my goal. I can expose that because it's something broad and I will accomplish it. And but week one, nobody was in the office to close my deals. Am I gonna beat myself up? I'm gonna double up the next week.
Yeah.
And you just have to know that it listen, some major goals that I have that I keep to myself, I know in the long run that if it doesn't happen this year, it's gonna happen next year. And if it doesn't happen next year, it's gonna happen in year number 3 and 4. You can't. Once again, it goes back to that word passion. If you're passionate about what you do, even on bad days, I'm still doing what I love to do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how bad can that be? I'm not knocking nobody else's careers or what they're doing, but I wake up every morning passionate about what I do and have the privilege. It's a privilege to even be in this position that, yes, a deal might not close, or yes, a goal hasn't been met, but I still wake up every day doing what I love to do. That is a
Mm-hmm.
reward in itself. And even
Absolutely.
when playing ball, like, I didn't, if I shot a 3 pointer and I missed, when I'm going back down the court, I'm playing my heaviest D. And when I played my heaviest D, I'm coming back to shoot again, but I'm not thinking about the shot I lost or I missed.
Mm.
I'm thinking about how good this 3 pointer right here, and I might miss again, but I'm still going back to play some D, come back and try again. But I'm not thinking about my last shot. I'm thinking about this. And I'm going to be honest with you. You say I have 20 years in the game, right? And some people call me the GOAT. Great. But guess what?
Uh,
Even the GOAT is only as good as her last deal in today's society. Even the
mm.
GOAT is only as good as my last loss, because people judge you based on your losses and your mistakes and everything else. But guess what? I'm passionate about what I do. I wake up every morning saying, thank you, God, for this opportunity. And
Mm.
through these goal setting and losses and everything else, you develop an emotional intelligence that you can hold and you can withstand the pressure of these goals
Mm.
and these daily tasks and getting up every morning. And I've been knocked down several times this past week. And guess what? I woke up in the morning. It's a new game. It's a new day. It's a new play. Everything is new every time you wake up. Next minute we talk is a new minute. So keep going. And this goal setting, that's why I'm asking you, you're looking at your wife, you're looking at your kids. Are you okay with these goals being met? Maybe not this year, maybe next year or the following year. But as long as you're going towards it, you winning, man. You winning.
For sure. For sure. Ron, Ron says, "Preach, pass the collection plate."
Oh man, look at God. Plate already coming with 25
Right.
minutes in. Boy, stupid.
Yeah, but no, you're absolutely right, and that's the thing. I had to learn in some cases. I've been hard on myself for a long time. But what I had to learn is that sometimes you have to give yourself a break, right?
Yes.
And look at the growth. Because my goals for last year, I didn't get all of them done. You know, and when I looked, I'm like, man, I didn't do this, I didn't do this, I didn't do this, I didn't do this, and I looked at the other part of the list, like, whoa, but I got that done, right? And I got that
Absolutely.
done, and I accomplished
Absolutely.
that. So even in those times, and I exceeded some of the things that I wrote down. But our mind sometimes plays tricks on us. And
Hmm.
oftentimes we'll look at the things that we didn't get done. And unfortunately, we start to measure ourselves from those things that we didn't get it done. As opposed to now, even though we didn't accomplish it, the growth that we had, like for me, I look at my goals every day.
Hmm.
The growth that I have towards becoming the person that I need to be to accomplish said goal. Like that goal that we write down, sometimes we're not even the person yet that's supposed to accomplish that goal, right? So forget having not accomplished the goal. Did I become the person that I need to be to have accomplished that goal? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I think that last point you made is key because a lot of times I've had so a great success, but my character cannot maintain it. I was so
Mm,
young and so irresponsible and so arrogant and so uh I don't know, I want to be famous type of situation where my
mm,
character cannot sustain it. And it took such a big loss to humble me. See,
mm.
success is led by humility, not pride.
Yes,
Pride comes before a
yes.
man's fall. So therefore, when we're being developed in the process, okay, let me see how you react to this situation. Now, if you react the same way to a situation the way you reacted 20 years ago, growth did not happen. So you're
Ah,
measuring certain things like growth did not. If I still get mad when an appraiser calls me and tells me about I couldn't get in the house because the lockbox wasn't there, and I'm getting frustrated because when I was younger, oh, it was like the most the like we didn't have this social media. I had to get
so
in the
it's the end of
car,
the world.
jump in the car, bust the window. I mean, do
Right.
something. And I'm telling you, you can't get into the back door. He's a ma'am, I can't trust, bro. You better bust that door. And it's like I was like a gangster in real estate, and like you can make it happen. I didn't accept no. These days, when I get no, I sit back and my reaction is different because it's a lot of things, situations that I've been in the game, in the real estate deals, or even bigger deals, or wherever I'm trying to go. When I hear no, it reminds me of a no from a long time ago. And because of experience, I know my plays and you know your answer. Hey man, hey, let me call the agent, or it is something so minute, but that right there can trigger your whole day. Oh man, the next thing a loan officer might call you in the deal, and oh, the lady don't make enough money, you got to go lower on the house, or it's so
Mm,
many moving parts, and then your reaction to things. And I think growth, and once your character is developed, and all I ask God, can you trust me with my blessing?
mm. Wow. Wow.
And sometimes when I'm not there, the blessing that I think I want, I ask God, he might not trust me with this blessing. It might be bringing me harm, what I think I want. And oftentimes I thank God for the delays, or I thank God for the no's, because I wasn't ready to receive back then what I'm desiring now, where I feel like I'm getting closer, and I can feel it. Like I know I can handle it. I can handle the pressure or whatever the case is, but he
Mm,
has to develop you in that fire. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what everybody's big moment is in life, or what is
mm.
the category of that big moment, but every day I practice for that big moment. Every day. Every day I close
Great
a
stuff.
deal, I practice for that big moment. Every day that I choose to love, I practice to being that wife. Every day I choose to write up a contract, I'm thinking about one day I'm going to have this big real estate firm or whatever the case is. Every day you working for that big moment. Now, when the big moment comes, are you a clutch shooter or are you going to close back in and, oh, I'm not ready? Because a lot of times we set these goals and God gives it to us and you're like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Now this is time to play. So, it's everything is individually. Like it's the growth. Can God trust you with your blessing, and can God trust you with your trial? Either or, it could go either way. God, can you trust me with the blessing that I am requesting or I desire or whatever the case is? And are you okay when God says no or He says not yet? What do you do when He says not yet or no?
Man, listen. So I hate that. I've been getting a blinking light over here. My folks are telling me you gotta go to the commercial. I get the message. I couldn't cut
you
it
gotta
off.
pay some bills, man.
I know.
That's enough too.
All right, so we'll be right back right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? This is Glenn Glasper, affectionately known as Mr. Dollar Out of a Dime. And I want to take a quick moment to invite you to a webinar that I'll be hosting this coming Saturday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. We're going to be talking about how to be the bank. I'm going to teach you how to be the bank, how to get started in real estate investing without having to become a landlord, right? Most people know the traditional way of getting involved in real estate investing where they have to buy property and rent it out, right? Many of you are familiar with the BRRRR method. The BRRRR method meaning buy it, renovate it, refinance it, rent it, and then repeat, right? But I want to show you a method where you can do those steps, but you don't necessarily have to rent it to get the cash flow. You can be the bank. You can be the bank. And I want to show you how you can do that on a webinar that's coming up this coming Saturday, again from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. Go ahead and click the button around this video somewhere to register. It's free. I want to share this information with you 100% free. And of course, there'll be an invitation for me to help you out. But if you want to learn how you can be the bank, buying property, fixing it up, and then being the bank for the person that buys it, as opposed to just flipping it and making a ton more money, getting a little bit more cash flow. Let's have that conversation this coming Saturday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. Look forward to seeing you there.
All right, man.
All right.
I need to have some new goals. You got commercials on this show. Oh man, like I want to be like you when I grow up. I ain't no commercials coming between, before, and after.
They try to get me right.
Yeah.
I told them to get me right, so we're working on it.
Oh man, I'm doing these lives. You got the whole setup. Got everything.
I said, listen, in order for me to have the right people come on, I got to make sure this show is right. So.
Oh, here we go. You passed me so humbly right back at
you. But listen, no, I'm sorry, I had to cut you off. Then I got my folks over here. They telling me like, yep, you got to follow the rules and make sure you do what you're supposed to do. But you were talking about setting goals. Now, I want to get into what do you consider, like if you write down a goal, if you have a goal set, like what would be a setback? If you wanted to close a deal a week, right? And you only happen to be able to do, we'll say 45 out of the 52. What would be a type of setback that you would think outside of, our regular, real estate issues that we have with deals not closing, title issues and all that, like from a personal perspective, what would be something that could cause a distraction for you not to meet a specific goal that you set for yourself?
Oh man, I want to talk about, in that case, a number one distraction could be family. It could be a motivating factor, but if you don't have the right teammate next to you, if you're a husband and a wife, and I have to talk about this because it's so important, if you don't have a support system at home. Now, if you're single and you God knows what you're doing out there. Lord bless you. I gotta I can spray everything on you. Like I don't know what you're doing when you're single, but even with that, you can't be reckless. But if you have a spouse that could be a distraction if the person is not on the same page with you or is not a motivating factor. It's a person that's actually holding you back or speaking negative into you or not supporting you. I've had previous situations where I was working too much. Now I know you got to find a balance. I know, but when certain goals are met, I believe in a marriage or a relationship where you're with a significant other. Certain goals should be shared, and then you know what you're going towards. Now, if you know your significant other cannot hold, or it's a pressure thing that you're actually adding pressure by exposing them to those goals. You know the emotional intelligence of your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things, parameters, but communication is key. We have this thing in mind, like this month, I need some help with this or that or whatever the case is. Number one distraction could be family, a setback, a
Mm-hmm.
death can affect you, death in the
Mm-hmm.
family, a sickness. There's people out here, getting sick at all times. You can fall ill and certain things don't get met. Or in some cases, it could be, I'm going to tell you another thing that could set you back. You could have made a good deal on week 1 of January. And something happens to that deal. I don't know. You 3 months into the rehab and something can literally just happen just that way and you're on deal number 7 and now you got to start moving some money around. You got to do some other things to compensate for that January bad mistake. But outside factors could
Mm-hmm.
be anything, like the shutdown that we had in 2020, 21 with the corona and all that. To me, that didn't stop. Actually, it increased my business because I had more to put into, to sit back and pay attention to a lot of things that because I was so on the go, I didn't pay attention to. So outside factors, really, family is who you pillow talk with every night. Could
Mm-hmm.
affect your success and your goals. If you're not married or in some type of relationship like that or bond, your friends could be your outside. Like if you choose friends that all they talk about is negativity and don't want to come up and don't want to do this and get to the bag with you, that's a negative setback.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Anything, a natural disaster can be a setback. So there's a lot of factors on the outside that can set this whole situation back, and you can't sit there and put that on yourself like, oh my God, this is what it is. But who do you spend your time with daily is one of the most important things that you can ever do on a daily basis. And that causes discipline too. You have to have the discipline not to be talking to 1,000 people a day or, having access so people can drain you. Or, what's another
Mm-hmm.
setback? You pouring constantly to everybody else and nobody pouring into you.
Absolutely.
You get a
Absolutely.
burnout like I cannot explain. And if you're the one pouring all the time and nobody's pouring back into you, guess what? That's a setback because now you're mentally drained. And by the time you're trying to get to your own situation, you don't have it. And I think in the society that we live in, I love doing podcasts. I love doing lives. I love speaking to people and pouring into people. But I have learned to set boundaries. I have learned that in order to achieve my personal goals, to be able to help these people in a larger scale, I have to pull back. And I pull back more now than actually pouring into. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If Jesus always pulled back, what makes me any different? He always ran from the crowd. He ran from the crowd at all times. So if that's the case, what is it? Like people still, just because you're a leader and you have 20 years experience, you're still a human being and you can get burnt out. Burning out will damage your goals at all times. And I don't want to use the word selfish, but it is selfish. Sometimes you have to be selfish. You have to know when to say no to be able to know that you have this goal in mind. If all these things are distracting me and pulling me away from what I'm trying to accomplish, that whatever is pulling you away, that's a distraction. That's a distraction.
Mm.
And how sad could it be that you get all these goals met, and then once you meet them along the way, you're not going to be there to enjoy it.
Mm. You said something that made me think about one other thing that could be a potential setback. And many people might not get this, but success can also be a setback, right? I know I experienced some successes in my life, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. I made it. I did this. I accomplished that. I'm good. I'm successful. But then what? Right?
What's next?
Then
Comma.
what? Exactly.
Mhm.
And sometimes you get comfortable in those successes. Now, of course, you're supposed to count your wins, right? But
Mhm.
understanding that a win can sometimes just be a win for that moment. And
Mhm.
even though it's a win in that moment, that should be the thing that you use to catapult you to the next level. I heard it
Absolutely.
said something about the astronauts when they came back from the moon. I mean, when you go to the moon, where else is there to go, right?
Mhm.
When they came back from the moon, some of them had psychological issues, right? And because there were no other goals set beyond going to the moon,
Right.
right? So in those instances, I believe in the things that we look as goals that we set. I now have come to the understanding that I have to set big enough goals to scare me, right? If they said if you're not scared of your goals, then your goals aren't big enough. And
Mhm.
I look at those situations, even in the times that I might not accomplish the things that I set as goals, I've had an opportunity to stretch myself, but it doesn't allow me to get complacent in the successes, because you can become complacent in those successes when you feel like you've checked all the boxes, right? So in my
Mhm.
opinion, I think sometimes success can also be a setback if you don't have yourself prepared to go to the next level.
Now I'm going to say another thing about that, because success is defined in so many different ways, because
Oh
everybody's
yes,
definition of
yes,
success is
yes.
different.
Speak on that.
So let me say this. I have found contentment in every goal, in every success, and every win. And that's why I say I don't I leave it all out on the court. Like everything I ever do, I want to be able to say, when I go to sleep, I want to be able to say, in this deal, I've done my best. And even though I won, I closed, I did this. Or in a relationship, I want to be able to say, I left it all on the field. I left it all
Mm,
in that boardroom. Like I did my best. And I find contentment in progress, right? So even
mm,
if I reach that goal, it's not about, okay, what's next? It's about the adventure of figuring out that, hey, I don't look at my last win. Because if I continue looking at my last win, I'll never grow. Because a lot of people,
mm.
you'll have that. Sorry to all the football players, I'm not trying to knock you out, but all these star football players in high school, that's the only stories they have. Oh man,
Right, right.
when I was in high school, man, I was that quarterback. Okay, but didn't go any further because of whatever reason, and or they got an injury, or they got
Mm,
some type of setback in their own passion, and then they have to make a transition. With growth, with the years of experience, comes some type of contentment, not settling, because contentment and settling is two different things. See, I'm
mm,
content regardless. If I win, I don't lose. Even with the setback that I've had in the last 5 years, I didn't lose. I learned. Every lesson I have is a learning curve. Either I learn a bad lesson or a good lesson. So therefore,
mm.
there's nothing, I don't lose. Every time I wake up, I'm winning. Whether I'm in prison,
Absolutely.
whether I'm in the
Mm,
boardroom, whether I'm in church, whether I'm on the corner, I'm winning. Yes, my situation is aggravating, or my situation, but find the beauty in your pain. Find the beauty in your
mm,
bad. Find your beauty. There's beauty in everything. But that comes with contentment. Can you find a contentment? Can I learn from this? What can I do to create out of this situation? And I don't look at my wins, because for me to tell you in 2005, I was just rolling like money. Six-figure checks were like water, right? If I say that, it's the truth,
the
because I have a
glory
track
days.
record, and I can sit here and say, "Hey, man, I got all these checks," but I can't live on yesterday's win.
Absolutely.
Georgia Power was like, "Oh man, 2005, man, That's
We
how I
appreciate
got
you
out the
paying them
MJ
bills
of
there,
real
but
estate. Man, they don't care. Talking about yeah, we put that notice on the door. We appreciate your guru real estate conversation, but gotta pay the bills. So the point I'm trying to make with that is, yes, you can get to a level, and I've done that before. But I'm gonna tell you something, and I tell this to people, and especially women. Oh, if I could just get married and have a kid, man, my life would just be perfect. No, if your life is not perfect, you being by yourself and getting developed to get to that stage, you will not get happy. It's like, if I check this off my box, I'm gonna be happy. If I get a jet, I'm gonna be happy. If I get on a boat, I'm gonna be happy. If you're not happy in your Toyota, and if you're not happy in your one bedroom apartment, and you're not happy in with even with a negative balance in your account, you'll never be happy. Stop trying to chase. See, because I'm gonna tell you something. Like, these astronauts went to the moon. They chased that goal. And then,
right,
because they
right,
put that was their identity. They lost themselves in the
absolutely.
goal. So when you lose
Mm,
yourself in the goal and not working on your personal self and realizing, man, that I'm happy on my way there, and after it happened, I still should be like, oh man, this is great. But it's a lot of things that people and it goes down to identity. And I'm gonna talk about Jesus Christ because that's who changed my life. When I found my
mm,
identity in Jesus Christ, man, and I get emotional about it because I was that person chasing something, and it nothing could fill that void. Nothing, no deal, no basketball game, no fame. And when I
mm,
focused on making Jesus famous above my
mm,
name, above any real estate deal, man, my life changed. The peace that I have, the joy that I have, the even when it says no or there's a delay, even though it hurts inside, my mind reminds me that my identity does not belong to any of these results. Good or
mm.
bad, that's not my identity. My identity is found in Jesus Christ. And with that is what I wake up every morning. And that is my business partner. That is who, at times when I get frustrated, that's who I count on. So no matter if my goal is to go to the moon, I'm going to the moon with the moon maker. Like, it doesn't, nowhere
Mm,
in this world can I not go. And there's nothing I can't accomplish when I am dealing with the creator of these business deals, the creator of these humans that I got to deal business with the creator of these houses, that sun, that moon, those stars. So at the end of the day, when I don't have what my flesh wants or what I think I need in the moment, I have everything because I have Jesus Christ. So if I was to go on a spiritual realm, it it makes your deal better, your life better, your business better. So that's my goal, man. To make Jesus
all right, all
famous.
right,
He's already
all right,
famous.
Casiana, come on now. Look.
You crazy as hell.
Come
But
on
that's what
now.
it is. It's the truth.
You look, you're not gonna get me today. You're not gonna get me today.
Oh, you funny.
No, but I love it. Listen, and that's the thing. I think oftentimes, especially when we're having conversations like this about goals and things like that we accomplish or hope to accomplish in our lives, most of us don't look at that source of how we get to be who we are, how we get to become, how we get to not realizing that who gives us the power to do all the things that we do. You know what I mean? And I look at it. I get caught up sometimes. I keep it 100. I'm like, dang, I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. But I'm like, but like you said, I woke up this morning. That's a win. So even though I might have fallen short the day before, I get an opportunity to do that and more. Those things that I hope to accomplish yesterday, I get an opportunity to do those things again on today because I have been given the opportunity. I didn't create it myself. I'm not the creator of all things, but I am one who's been created by the creator of all things. And I understand, like, listen, I always say, when I pray every day, I say, God, it is you that gives me the power to do all things And if I fall short, it's not because I've failed, it's because it's an opportunity for me to grow in the things that I might have missed, and realizing that the testimony that I create, come on now, Casiana, you got me started. The testimony that I get to create and the things that I might have fall short on will help save the next person's life. You see what I mean? And
Absolutely.
those are the things, and that's why I commend you and your testimony and the things that you share when we have an opportunity to speak is understanding that the things that we go through are not just about us. We put all that
Mm-mm.
weight on ourselves and like, oh, I missed it and this, that. That ain't just for us. Like that's for you to tell somebody else that whatever you're going through, you'll be all right. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
much. And
Mm-hmm.
that's all relative to all the things that we do, especially as it relates to being in business, and being in business for yourself. I look at, rehabbing houses now, and I'll be honest, I haven't done it in a while because I'm like, why in the heck would anybody work that hard? But what I realize is that, and I was having a conversation with someone about that being the thing that they love to do. And I think John even said this the other day when we talked. When you do what you love, it's not hard work. You know what I mean? And like I love to do real estate, but I don't love to work that hard. I believe anything you
Well,
get to accomplish, you got to work hard at it. But I'm working
absolutely. And
smarter
but
now.
see, this is the thing. It's not about I don't want to work that hard. Sometimes you just content. But I'm gonna be honest with you. If at any point when I'm doing real estate, because I am trying to accomplish some things in my career, if I'm not feeling comfortable and I'm too comfortable, then I know that I failed. And
Mhm.
sometimes I will go back and get dirty because I am doing what I love to do. And um, it's 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 like I used to play with shin splints. Like
Mm.
because I loved the game so much, like it didn't matter. Like, yeah, it might have created some injuries later, but the point I'm trying to make is it didn't matter. Like it didn't
Mm.
matter that it hurt. It didn't matter that I twisted my
Yeah,
ankle first quarter.
yeah,
Take my ankle up. Let's go. Like I
yeah.
didn't have those. So now that I'm older, yes, I might not have to go rehab every house because I know what's a good deal or not. Maybe I just need to wholesale it, or maybe I need to hold it, but
Hmm.
sometimes you have to fine tune the basics. You have
Mm.
to keep if because if you don't fine tune the basics, that oil is gonna gridlock your motor. You
Mm.
got to keep oil going. So you might park your car when it comes to rehabs and it's sitting there.
We still got you. Uh oh, we lost it. That's that real life real estate investing when you're doing it live. Um, but she's coming right back in. There we go. All
It's
right.
the phone ringing. You might have that car parked, and if it's sitting there, it's a car. It's gonna do its purpose. But if you let it sit there too long, it's gonna have some problems starting. You might have to put some battery to it. You never
Mm,
want to lose the basics. You never want to stay out the
absolutely.
tune with your basics, especially in your profession. I put out signs from time to time. Not all the time, maybe once a year, twice, but I have other people that I mentor to go put my signs out. Or
Mm, mhm.
I have somebody else doing those things, but I'm still involved in the process of a rehab, or I'm still involved in people picking the phone up and calling me and asking me for advice, or I'm always in a rehab without even it being my rehab. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Really,
I
absolutely,
know what you're
absolutely.
saying. Like it's easy for me. I sat down. If I told you how much money I made yesterday in a split hour just from a phone call, I didn't even leave my house. That's
Hmm.
because the experience 20, 30 years. I gave you some good advice. We put the deal together. This is my fee. This is what it is. But I still go out there and look at. Yesterday I was looking at houses.
Mm,
Typically, I don't know the last time I took some pictures of some houses, but you
right.
have to constantly go back to the basics. And because this is real estate is not my first love, but because this is my passion, this is what I do every day. And then I remember the days we couldn't close no deals because the crash happened. I remember the
Uh,
days that we were making $25. on the real estate deals because I'm trying to salvage the relationship. I
Mhm.
constantly remind myself what got me here. And yes, you don't mind that it's cold outside. Hey man, like Georgia weather, you're gonna put a coat on the next day, and by 2 o'clock you sweating. And then after that, yesterday I went to a house that was so molded, 5 mats couldn't keep the mold out of my mouth. So it's just the it's just going back to the basics. And then sometimes that fuel puts some fuel in you because it brings back memories. It brings back, man, this is what I do. Because the initial thing is it's getting there. It's getting out the house, getting
Absolutely.
in your car and getting there. Because once you're there, you're hyped. You're like, oh man, whoo, yeah, you feel 1,000, but it's getting out that comfortable place. Get out the heat, get out the AC, get out the car. Once you got out the car, oh man, everything falls into place. It's that initial, hey man, get out your bed and go work out. Once you're at the
Yeah.
gym, you're at the gym, man. You got to
Yeah.
do it.
Right.
But
Right.
getting there is the problem. So go back
That's
to
the
the
major
basics, man.
thing. Hey, listen, the ground guy says the basics still work.
20
That's
years
what's up.
later.
And I always say that. I always tell folks there are no new fundamentals in what we do. But what you
Absolutely
said
not.
about fine tuning the basics is that even in the times when like I said, I don't like to work hard, but even I look at I'm like I don't want to do rehabs no more. But guess what? I'm still doing rehabs. Like I look at the perspective of what I looked at has changed, right? They say if you change the
Mm-hmm.
way you look at things, the things you look at will soon change. So the perspective of the fixing and flipping, right? Like I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. It looks like
Mm-hmm.
hard work. It's hard work. But at the same time, I got houses here, houses in Detroit, like they're still being fixed up to be
Mm-hmm.
technically, or in a word, flipped, right? Not I'm selling on seller financing, but the same, but this it's the same type of process. But it's
Mm-hmm.
just I'm not going after it with everything that's in me like I was before. Like
So let
before
me
when I
ask
was
you a question. Didn't the basics get you to where you're at right now?
oh absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because you're trying to go to another level, it's still going to be the basics that's going to get you there.
Always. Always.
Always. So
Absolutely.
I think I'm going to tell you another thing that could hinder or have that frustration, whatever. Um, you could be doing things like if I was to go to practice again, I'm gonna go back to the basketball. If I was to go to practice for 6 months, I'm getting ready for the season. I'm practicing
Mhm.
every day, same routine, running the same mileage. Maybe another day I'm just gonna add another mile just to say I did something different. Sometimes repetition gets boring. Okay, the
Mhm.
excitement is gone. And I can take it personal. Some people fall out of love with each other because it's the same old minute situations, the same routine, the same situation because they didn't take the time to make just small adjustments. Say, okay, the newness wears out. Okay, so
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
newness wore out in your real estate career. It's not new to you. It's not exciting. It's not
Mhm.
the thrill of the deal. Is like, oh yeah, I had a closing today, and you like kick back like, I had a closing. Okay, great. So you have to ask yourself what in your career will give you that thrill again. So the next option is again in your goal setting is okay, I'm content with 1 or 2 closings a week, but what if I have 10 closings a week? What if I have
Mhm.
20? Yeah, that's more money, but I'm not doing it for the money. Now I'm
Mhm.
stepping my
Mhm.
game up. Like if I'm trying to lose this weight and I'm trying to get in shape and I'm trying to get, a certain type of body look or whatever, I'm working towards that. Like you have to know that, okay, I've closed all these real estate deals. I'm a master of what I do. It's just not that exciting to you. And unions ran out. So now you got to find, okay, you're doing this platform with the show. Amazing. This is a new challenge in the real estate career because you're talking about it, but you're still closing the basics. You're still doing the rehabs, and you might want to
Mhm.
get out of that space. But think about the things that challenge you and put that back on your rehab game. Maybe you say,
Mhm.
okay, I don't want to do the rehab. I might do a new construction. That's a new process. That's a
Right.
new
Right.
challenge. That is a new headache. And a lot of times, because we always fall back on the rehab, we always fall back on the wholesale. If this doesn't happen, at least I got bill money. But even with the money part, I want to live off of 10% of my income and give away 90. If I was to say that, and I say that all the time, it takes a
Okay.
level of success for me to get there. And it's a constant build up to it. And if I don't, I'm still giving in the process. Just because I'm not gonna wait to give when I'm at that plateau. I'm doing the things that I want to do on a higher level. I'm doing them now, just on a smaller scale. I'm still
Mm.
gonna give in the process, just not where I want to give eventually. So put some newness to the game, or go back to romancing real estate, the rehab,
Mm.
romance the rehab. Once you start romancing the rehab again, man, your whole outlook on it will change. You will be out there at 5:30 in the morning waiting on the contractor. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe
Well,
that's a
the
stretch.
difference. Yeah, I ain't getting up that early. Now. Well, I'm getting up that early, but not gonna be the contractor. But the difference is now, like the perspective again, like I mentioned, has changed. The perspective of getting up, like I used to get up and do it for the thrill of it, right? For the thrill of I'm fixing and flipping and I'm doing it, right? The difference now is the thrill is I'm creating a real portfolio, right? That's the goal now. The goal is to
Okay.
create a real portfolio. Like, I posted something the other day that said the mistake I made was fixing and flipping everything. Like I used to fix and flip everything, like from the beginning to the end. That was all that I did, which made me cash rich but asset poor,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when the crash happened, like we talked about earlier, when the crash happened, I had a ton of money, but I had no cash flow. I had no residual, income coming in. So during that crash time, all I was doing was paying bills, traveling, having fun, and that money went away. I ain't had nothing to come back in. And I got into that same pattern after the crash. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, dude, you need to change the way you're doing what you're doing. Right. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
exciting. It's, the thrill of it is there. But at the same time, I'm like, wait a minute. I can make a whole lot of money at one time, or I can make a whole lot of money for a long time, right? So that's why the perspective of
Mm-hmm.
change. Like I said, the fixing, the rehabbing is still there. Like I'm not trying. I don't want to do a full gut rehab, but some of the projects that I'm working on happen to be full gut rehabs. Like why not? I mean, I thought I changed my mindset, but I'm still doing it.
No, you know
But
what? But it's
it's
nothing.
not working for me now.
But you recognize it. It's you got to diversify. I mean,
Hmm.
I wouldn't have went in so many fields in real estate if I wasn't trying to figure out, hey man, there's more to real estate than rehabs. There's more to real estate than even buying and holding. There's so many facets of real estate, and if somebody's new in real estate and watching this, I would like to tell you, you need to really explore all options of real estate. There's so
Hmm.
much different type of financing that can get any deal done. There's no deal that cannot close unless you're upside down. Or and guess what, there's people that will buy a deal right at 100% equity. They don't care, they just do a buy and hold, like they want the rental money. Or there's
Hmm.
so many facets of real estate that it's not just in Georgia, it's not in Atlanta. It's just you can go to other states, you can go around the country, you can go around the world. Like it's
Hmm.
so much to do with real estate, and you have to diversify. And once you learn the real estate game, you have to diversify in other aspects of business, which is finances or stocks, or there's other things you can use the money in real estate to actually put into maybe a dream of yours. Some people might want to be restaurant owners, or some people might want to open up a school, or want to open up God knows what. Like use real estate to catapult you to the next level in some things that you wanted to do before, or you found some passions along the way. Like my sister right now, I'm looking for a coin laundry place for her. She wants to buy a coin laundry place. Now a lot of people would be scared of it because of corona. A lot of things change because of people and interaction and all that. But guess what, ain't no coin laundry place really closed down. I don't know how they made it, but the point I'm trying to make is she's using the experience in real estate or construction, whatever. We're building her company up to whereas she wants a coin laundry place as a diversifying her assets or portfolio. It might, to me, some of the numbers that we've gotten on certain places, it's gonna work for her. Now, it might not work for everybody else, but you're saying that rehab, you're always falling back on it, or you're wanting to build a portfolio of rental income or whatever the case is, but you're diversifying. And it's
Yes.
great that you recognize that, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I know people in the game they're older than us, and 50 years into the game, and guess what? They never moved from the fix and flip. And guess what? It's okay. That worked for them. Like they master that. And sometimes I believe that the successes that came out of our lives is because we were so consistent in that one thing. Because you can't start 10 things and think you can do them all at the same time. Now, if they're the same field, or the way I have my consulting company, the business strategy aspect of my life, I advise on all kinds of businesses. But my main focus is really real estate. But real estate has opened up doors for me to become a business strategist, because when you endure real estate, I believe you can accomplish any. I don't know if you can become a doctor or a lawyer. Man, you can come close to it.
Hey, listen, we do surgery on houses all the time.
Yeah, doctor of real estate. But you know what I'm saying. Like it afforded us to go into other avenues, and I can sit in a room and talk about other businesses because of the people we've met with money in life, and the experiences we had with them, and the people that call us on a regular basis. It could be a doctor. Hey man, I got $300,000 sitting here. Go find me a house that I can rehab. Okay. But that has nothing to do with it. It doesn't matter about his title. It doesn't matter. Hey, let me take your money. Let me co-invest it real quick into this rehab or do a joint venture, whatever the case is. But yeah, you have to diversify. I understand what you're saying though. Like, I don't want to manage a rehab. That's why you hired the project manager. Then you think about, well, I'm paying too much. And you start looking at certain things like, man, I should just manage it myself. Because then they call you and it seems like you're managing already. Like, if the phone calls are too much, that's not a project manager. If I have to do the thinking for you, yeah, I'm actually managing that rehab, because you call me at every point. Right.
We got a question from YouTube, which is a good question. Actually, since we're coming up on the time, we'll take, so if you all have any questions, certainly go ahead and pop them in on Instagram or any place you're watching, Facebook, YouTube. Got any questions, go ahead and put them in. We'll take at least maybe 2 or 3 questions before we go, because we're coming up on our time. Cloud Nation Media says, in which states have you experienced the least amount of legal red tape when investing?
Vegas, Nevada, and Florida.
For me, the least amount of legal red tape I've experienced in the states are the ones that I have attorneys in, and I have attorneys in all states, so I don't worry about the red tape stuff. But
the reason why I said that is because of portfolios that I've had in other states. And you're right, if you have the right legal team, there is no red tape. But as far as resistance for the actual individual going into the state where you can't assign the contracts, it's a state that is known for doing that, or you don't have those, oh my God, you can't do this or you can't do that. The culture of real estate, as far as investors, and I've closed deals all over the country and in some parts of the world, but the one that I felt the least resistance, and where everything just was kind of like without the spoken, hey, this is red tape, this is the line you don't cross, or whatever. The least resistance I felt in Florida and Nevada.
Mine so far has been Michigan. Michigan is like, yeah. I'm kind of partial because I'm from there.
Not knocking it, but trust me, I know.
But I haven't had like the types of deals that I'm getting in Michigan now. It's. I don't want to say too much, but they're very simple. I'll say that they're very simple. So there's not much.
Very transactional, shaking of the hand.
Yeah. And that's how most of them happen. Like, and I'll be honest, I'll say this: most of the properties that I'm buying in Michigan, I'm buying on seller financing, right? Almost like 60 or 70% of them are bought on seller financing. And in Michigan, what they're doing is what they're known as land contracts. Right. So those of you that are familiar with that. So I buy my property on land contracts. I put a little bit of money down. I finance over time. And I do whatever I want to do with the property. right? So
Amazing.
I said to myself, it's interesting because I can sell on seller financing as well, right? So I said, that's an area that I wanted to help people, show them how they can do the same thing. And that's where, the Learn How to Be the Bank program came about. I'm like, some people look at investing as they got to buy, fix, the Burr method: buy, renovate, uh, refinance, and rent. But I'm like, why not still hold on to the asset and not, or get cash flow from the asset and not have to necessarily be the landlord, right? Because
Hmm.
that's the biggest challenge people have. I don't want to be a landlord. Well, you can be the lord of the land that continues to collect a cash flow, but not have to be the manager of the land.
Hmm.
That's what I say. So,
Yeah, I agree.
to answer, I guess to answer that question in the simplest terms, mine is Michigan, and you said Florida and Vegas have been,
Yeah.
um, areas. Good stuff.
Hmm.
Good stuff. Anyone else have any questions? We haven't gotten any questions too so much. Got folks watching on Instagram. No questions over here. Um, did you have anything else you wanted to share before we jump off?
Man, I wish everybody a prosperous 2022. And
Absolutely.
if I could wish anything for anybody, is peace of mind, health, and if you can work on anything this year, is learn to love yourself, be by yourself, and really find your individuality in life, and stop trying to compare your progress and your success and who you are and what you look like and what you don't have to somebody else, and really focus on you and your relationship with God, and let him guide you. And if you let him guide you, I promise you, man, even when it hurts, you'll be able and you'll have the strength to push.
Great stuff. Great stuff. So, Cassiana, you actually offer mentorship as well, or coaching. How
Yes.
can folks get in contact with you to have that conversation with you?
You my Instagram is straight business 33. You can go to my Instagram, or my email is real estate mogul 101 at Gmail. The mentorship program is really one on one. I am working on a lot of things individually right now, so I don't take on a lot of clients anymore, just because I am focused on some other things that I'm trying to accomplish. But if somebody wants to reach out to me, I have a team that I work with, but you can reach me on Instagram. My number is 770-296-3229. And send me your real estate deals. Glenn is on here as well. And I do a lot of wholesale, but I also do a lot of buy and flip. Right now, I'm looking for, just like anybody else's, the sweet spot for me is 3-2, minimum 1,400 square feet, all four sides brick. That's the perfect gym these days. But I do work with a hedge fund right now, and the hedge fund is buying in bulk. They're buying individually. It's a 10-day turnaround, cash closing after inspection. So, whatever you got, send it my way, and I'll look at it. Now I am going to make this disclosure: if you are 10 middle people in the
Mm.
deal, hey, listen, thank you for trying, but I will make this public service announcement. If you are not direct to the buyer or seller, don't call my phone.
No, that's right.
I
It's
had to make
nothing
that disclosure
personal. It's
because
just business.
it's just business, nothing personal.
Definitely, definitely. Do you want to share? I know we talked about the earlier the package that you have. You want to share with folks that
No,
might
it's
be able to?
individually priced because um, everybody's needs and attention is different. Number one, and a lot of times it's not a if somebody brings me a deal and they need me to mentor them through the deal, that's one situation. And then if it's personal growth or something like that, everybody's price is pretty much different. I have a set price, but I don't want to say one set price and then certain things take longer. It's a time factor. And not only a time factor, being that I am working on some personal things that I need to accomplish in my career, I don't have a lot of time to do that. So that's where the lives come in, or I might do it something on Instagram where I'm dropping a jewel and it's easier to talk to the masses, even though I'm not getting the instant payment at that time. It will come in the form of a deal later or something like that. To be able, because it's a lot of people that will come and want to do it, and I'm only one person. And right now, I'm in the season of allowing God to pour into me and allowing other people to pour into me. I need some substance before I pour out.
I'm sorry, I didn't tell you what I meant by that. When I said package, I'm talking about the Detroit package that we talked about earlier.
Oh, I thought you said my package is for my. Yeah, you got to be specific because we got packages for days.
I know. All right. Listen, I didn't want to cut you off because you was doing your thing.
You didn't say. Can you tell me about the package deal in Detroit?
Right.
Say
I'm
that,
sorry.
then I would have went into the spiritual praise Jesus moment. Okay, so my package deal in Detroit. I have a package deal of 42 homes. Nice return on them. It is negotiable. It's 1.7 million. Ask on it. Fully rehabbed homes. And they're all rented out, 100% rented. So you can reach out to me. I have a package in Chicago, similar to that, of 10 houses. I have a package in Arkansas. I have packages in about 10 states right now. So I just want that package in Georgia, though. So I'm trying to hit. I keep hitting, thinking that I'm going to get that Georgia package. When I get that Georgia package, nobody will know. But these other states, I have them. And if you guys have package deals, please send them my way. I have investors that will buy in bulk.
Good stuff. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you all. Let's see. Oh, somebody said 1.7 for how many units? 42 units, right?
It's 42 single family residents. It's 42 homes.
Yeah, 42 single family residents.
They're all rented out, all fully rehabbed.
All fully rehabbed?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's what I was saying earlier, Glenn.
Right. So I have to ask the question, being that they're in Michigan, any seller financing on any of that?
On some of these, because they are, I think half of them were some type of land deal situations. They got to get out of the contracts. So I think some are, but they're selling it as a package deal. So there's no cherry picking to whereas when you're saying some finance, I think they want to get rid of the whole package at one time.
Well, no, I mean, will they seller finance the whole package?
Mm-mm.
Not at all. Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right.
Now, I'm going to say this. You never know if the right terms might come, but I don't think so because of the way the package was formed and who the seller is. I don't think it will be possible.
Okay. And Matt Corbett says that's not a bad deal. Great stuff. Mac, if you're interested, certainly reach out to us. Send me a DM and we'll make the connection.
Absolutely. And Glenn will be up there in 2 days. I have to tell on him now because he can look at your properties and make the deal happen for you. So you can
absolutely.
have a soldier on the
I
ground.
will be in Detroit Monday. So anybody in my folks is watching, I will be in Detroit Monday. I'm scheduled to have a closing on Monday. I don't know exactly what time yet, but I have a closing on Monday and possibly one on Tuesday. But if there's anything that you all need, let's talk about doing some deals. I also have some properties that I am looking to sell myself. I'm the owner, right? So I have some properties that I'm looking to sell. I'm direct to the owner, so I'm direct to me. And I also have some just in case there's any questions. I also have some other properties that I'm actually partnered with some folks, and it is a JV deal. They're selling some packages. So if anybody is interested in Detroit properties, if you're interested in investing in Detroit, let's talk. A lot of people are missing out on the opportunity in Detroit, and I'm okay with that. But I can't buy them all, so I guess I got to start sharing. But a
lot of people slept on Detroit. A lot of money was made in Detroit with these small properties, buying blocks at a time. The properties were like 500,000. You could buy a whole block for 15,000, and not exaggerating to you. Yes. Now, would you have done anything else with it at that time? You couldn't. But if a collective of investors got together, that's how you change the neighborhoods, blocks at a time being rehabbed. But Detroit, man, a lot of people slept on. I could buy a tax lien for $500 and 10 years later, I'm selling it for 50, like 40, 30, like
Absolutely.
anything else, it will go up. But it's the comfortability of but Detroit, I'm still a Detroit Piston fan. I was a Detroit Piston basketball fan, so I was in Detroit all the time. And man, I used to get out the car like, what is this? I mean, you're talking about houses that are 3,000 square feet for 5,000, but I was screaming Detroit really 15 years ago when I was going in, watching Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace and Rip, and you got all the people, winning championship at the Lakers. I mean, I could talk trash right now, but yeah, I was going into
So,
Detroit to the home games.
so I gotta make a point of something. If see, this is the real Detroit fan test. Do you see the real life real estate investing logo?
Oh Lord. Oh, I never paid attention. Oh man, I gotta give you props. I'm a real Detroit fan that didn't even pay attention.
The new real life real
Hey,
estate
listen,
investing
I
logo.
don't even know. Man, I can't wait to show you. I'm gonna send you. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna show you something. So I'm going through things because I'm cleaning things out. Let me just show you because I'm not lying to you. Look at this.
Yes, indeed. Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey
So
man,
that
it's official, bro.
right.
It's official. Like, who can get up from a chair with a backdrop and go pull out this sticker? Like, come
Exactly.
on. Like, I'm not just talking. I'm not a bandwagon type of person. Be proud.
So listen, I have no idea who plays on the Pistons team now at all. I ain't paying attention to no basketball, but I'll forever be a Detroit Pistons fan. I don't know about the Lions, but I'll forever be a Detroit Pistons
you learn
fan.
something about me every day, Glenn. You didn't even
Right.
know. And I didn't even know. I've been seeing your sign for years, and I didn't know.
Yeah. So this is the new logo, and the new logo is definitely inspired by the original Detroit Pistons logo. Yeah.
See?
So not the
Look
one
at
with the
God.
horse on
Won't
it, like
he do it?
yeah.
Man, listen to me. I promise you, I even have a flag that used to be in my office. I mean, I was John knows. I used to go with. I have the jerseys. I used to go play in them jerseys and have
Wow.
pictures with them. I mean, it was the madness was real. Like
I
it was
still got
bad.
a ripped jersey. I got a Isaiah Thomas throwback. Um, I still got a Rasheed Wallace jersey. Yeah, I'm somewhat of a fan.
Yeah, so yeah, I get it. Trust me, but a lot of people, they think that you're Lakers or right now people. I don't think they have teams anymore. They're really fans of players. Yeah, there's some that are real because they're in the city, but I've found that a lot of people are more player driven these days than team driven. So
Yeah.
it's all good though.
All right, listen. Thank you so much,
You're
Casiana. It's
welcome.
always a privilege, pleasure, and definitely an honor to have you on the show. Just to have a conversation with you. I know we give folks an opportunity to chime in and listen to us talk, but when it's us, it's us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
Thank you for
definitely
having
thank
me.
you. Absolutely.
You.
You definitely welcome anytime on this show, and thank you for being ready in the clutch to make it happen with me today. I certainly
I
appreciate
am
that.
a clutch player and I'm proud of it. I stay ready.
For sure. And listen, we all talked about that basketball thing. We definitely got to make that happen. I'm nursing a knee that's coming back together, but I'm ready to get on the court. So whenever we can make that happen, let's do that. Let's do that.
All right, man. I'm down for it.
All right. So listen, folks, this has been the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show, where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we bring you real life real estate solutions. And I'm your host, Glenn Glasper, affectionately known as Mr. Dollar Out of a Dime. And our guest today has been Miss Casiana Foghis. Foghis. I want to make sure I say that. Foghis. Got it. Okay. But listen, again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for joining us today. Tune in next week. And don't forget to go register to learn how to be the bank, not to loan money specifically, but to learn to be the bank. and holding notes on properties that you either A, are renting or that you want to buy, fix, and potentially rent. But you can be the bank and not have to be the landlord. So go ahead and register for that at learnhowtobethebank.com, and we'll see you this Saturday live from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on that webinar. And we are out of here. Thank y'all for tuning
All
in.
right, y'all. See you later.
All right.